Good evening and welcome to the Phoenix. Please welcome to the stage the incredible Dusty Limits.
You know, I was happy once. I remember it vividly. It was a Friday. Dear life, I've reconsidered. I don't think you're for me. It's not that you've been dreadful, just not my cup of tea. I'm broke, I'm sick, I'm single, and I'm feeling worn and torn. Life is not the answer, I just wish I'd not been born. And every single thing in which I place my faith or hope turns out to be less tempting than a loosely knotted rope. And all my small ambitions have been swept away like dirt, and all my tiny pleasures just remind me how I'm hurt. And all the little gods appear determined to thwart me. So life, I ask you, mate, is it too late to abort me? Life, I really mean it. It's just not working out. I'm sure you have potential, but I am filled with doubt. I wake, I ache, I worry, and that's my day, and it's because I shouldn't be a has-been. I prefer a never was. And each unfolding moment just adds another gripe. Society is vicious and religion is all tripe. Politics is sickening, philosophy's depraved, and people, Jesus, they're the worst, like monkeys who've been shaved. I do not find my solace in the songs my mother taught me. So life, let's call it fate. It's not too late to abort me. I'm not your knave, I'm not your clown. Every second has been reckoned, all those tedious hours. I wouldn't wave, I'd simply drown, and think of what we'd save on a casket and flowers. Life, I really mean it. It's not you, it's me. We're like a married couple whose love is lost at sea. And you're away a lot, and so I often drink alone. But mostly I just madly mutter, masturbate and moan. And writing this black dog rule is getting me nowhere. I've practically forgotten how to love or even care. And every shiny bright new morning with this clarion call makes me wonder why we bother waking up at all. I've stumbled and I've fallen and nobody has caught me. It's hard to feel unwanted when nobody has sought me. I'll give away the stupid birthday presents people bought me. So death, don't hesitate. It's not too late to abort me, abort me, abort, 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 abort me. Thank you so much, beautiful people. Now, there's two things I need to do as a matter of absolute urgency. This is the first. Oh, it's the closest I've come to an orgasm in months. There's the little bastard.
Now the bra, you sorted.
And also, I've forgotten my prop. It's a prop, it's not a crutch. Oh. So, good evening and welcome to Body of Work. Did you see that? Did you get that? You're very canny. You'll get all the jokes this evening. If you don't, you will be fined on your way out. In fact, you will be fined on your way out, just so you are warned. Welcome to the show. My last hurrah in some ways. Now, don't panic. There was a rumour going around that I was dying. I just want to point out that so are we all. And actually, it occurred to me this morning, in a rare moment of lucidity, that if you believe in wishes, the one wish you can make that you know will absolutely one day become true is to wish somebody dead. A little thought for the night bus. Do you like the ensemble? Yes! Courtesy of some very kind friends in the West Country and a dead woman. This is Michael Roulston on the pianoforte. Don't speak. So I'm going to sing you some songs that we've recorded and written over the last 254 years. They're available for download on Bandcamp, which is a website for music, not a list of things that have been banned for being camp. Or you can buy a signed CD. Remember those? You can buy a signed CD as you exit the building. In fact, you will. Or you won't be allowed to exit the building. Now, I made Michael a promise that I would sort of script this show, and because it's our last hurrah, and it's only an hour long, and I've really got to keep it tight. And I thought, fuck that. I'm going to sing the songs as accurately as I can recall them after 4 bouts of COVID, but for the rest of it, I'm just going to make shit up. Okay? Because that's what cabaret is really all about. We realised in discussing this show that it was all our songs really come down to one of 3 things, sometimes 2 out of 3. Sex, death, or money. So let's start with a song about money. This is rather tangential, because I've always had a really difficult relationship with money. There was a time, pre-crash, when I thought money had a way of turning up when you needed it, like the universe would give you money, like when you put on an old jacket you haven't worn in years and you reach in the pocket and go, oh, a tenner. Or when you wake up in a strange hotel room and you look at the dresser and then, oh, 100 quid. If you can believe it, I was young and pretty. And had a student loan to pay off. Anyway, but what I've realised is money doesn't work like that. But through the magic of the internet, you can make the internet work for you. Now, this is a little bit of a quiz, this song. So, at the end of this song, I'll ask you a question and you can answer. But let's just decide whether the thing I described in this song actually did or did not happen. This is A Lovely Day. It was Sunday morning and I was stony broke. I had a gig for quite a sum down on the Sussex coast. I didn't have the train fare, I couldn't get to work. Sometimes this job can get you down, you feel like such a jerk. Jerk, 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 feel like such a jerk. I got onto this website, got chatting to this bloke. He offered me some ready cash to sit and watch me stroke. Well, desperate times were calling and I was still quite pissed. Thought, sod it, I'll take 50 quid for a quick one off the wrist. Wrist, quick one off the wrist. Oh, what a lovely day I had. I got to work on time, the weather was sublime. What a lovely day I had. And all the Camptown ladies were looking in their prime. Looking in their prime. A Covino showed me his love tattoo. I even got the last train back to Waterloo. All aboard! Things panned out just perfect, though I've a sense of shame. Not to do with being poor or going on the game. But let's just say my acting skills could earn me global fame. Cause I wanked my way to Brighton, but I faked it when I came. Didn't see that coming, did ya? I'm a chap who doesn't shrink or shirk. Cause I think idle hands invite the devil's work. Life is made for living and life is made for fun. That's what I thought while strolling down in Brighton in the sun. The moral of this story
story when things don't go as planned. Keep your chin up, don't despair, there's always cash in hand. Hand, always cash in hand. Oh, what a lovely day I had. I strolled along the plage, I had an egg massage. What a lovely day I had, with the added satisfaction that I'd earned an honest wage. He earned an honest wage. Come on, everybody. What a lovely day I had. I napped there in the shade, I was fairly paid. What a lovely day I had, 'cause when life gave me lemons, I made lemonade. I made lemonade. Ollie. No, it's absolutely delightful to be here with such a gorgeous and beautiful audience. Actually, my darling Katie, can we get some lights up on the beautiful people in the audience? The beautiful ones, not the mingers. That was very selective, well done. And accurate. Excellent. You take them down, I'm bored with them already. Oh no, I'm sorry, it's live cabaret. I'm supposed to pretend to take an interest in people. Okay. Hello, what's your name? Correct. Okay, so... I got that out of the way. So tedious. And it's a brutal world. Live. As I said, no, it's delightful to be here, but you are actually very lucky to have me. No, today, this very morning, well, afternoon, because I don't wake up till 1. Once again, for like the umpteenth time, I was nearly run over at the traffic lights by some twat on a Lime bike. We hate them. Boo! So, when I reach retirement age, which is very unlikely, but if I do reach retirement age, I'm going to invest in a titanium steel walking stick. So when one of those fuckers runs the red, I'm just going to shove the damn thing through the front spokes and watch them go like a human fucking catapult. Other people I don't like are short people with umbrellas. It's more difficult. It's hard for them scuttling around down there, but the least they could do is learn how to. Anyway, I digress. Sorry, I got some leaves on the line of my train of thought. This next song, so I said sex, death, and money are our topics. You can take the lights down now, seriously. I know I use the expression beautiful people, but I don't want it to be disproved. Oh, now, I should point something out, beautiful people. I do not use the expression ladies and gentlemen. I do not use the expression ladies and gentlemen, not for one, not for three, but for two reasons. Firstly, I find it very binary. I find it very heteronormative, and I am obviously neither of those things. The second reason I do not use the expression ladies and gentlemen is because it might not be accurate. Because some of you might be common. And if you didn't get that joke, it's you. Sorry, I do apologise for encouraging to... I've got a touch of that Colombian hay fever that's going around. Okay, so this is a love song. It's inspired by a very beautiful place in Berlin, a city I adore. It's called Unter den Linden. Looking at the streets of Berlin. That was called acting. Life of late had been a tired dance, monotone, all alone, without a spark of scandal or romance. No racier than a glacier. But last night, as snow fell on the linden trees, I saw you and heard an angel choir. My heart felt big and light, like the Hindenburg, and every bit as likely to catch fire. Invited across the street, your eyes delight.
no two strangers came to meet. And now I'm wondering where I left my hat. Oh, fancy that. I've hardly met you, but nonetheless, I can't forget you. I'll dream tonight of your caress, instead of wondering how I lost my scarf. It makes me laugh. Without my scarf, Berlin is awfully cold. The snow is blanketing the streets. I think of you, so beautiful, so bold. Your bed still warm, with our bodies lingering heat. The chimes are ringing across the square. My heart is singing to picture you still lying there. And now I wish I hadn't walked away. What might you say? I feel like Deborah Carr. Fire across my skin. The touch of you I simply won't resist. The ice has melted everywhere you've kissed. And so I pause and turn my feet and hurry through the frozen streets to mein Hut, mein Schal und die. Aha! You fell into my trap. That was not in fact a love song, it was a sex song. About picking up a complete stranger in the streets of Berlin. Yes. In the style, obviously, of Cole Porter. Our next project is going to be a song about BDSM in the style of George Gershwin. This is an actual love song, or more specifically, a lost love song. I should point something out. This song is meant to be funny. But no one has ever laughed. Cold coffee still there in the mug. Notes and bills all scattered on the rug. The atmosphere is like an airlock. There's your pipe, and you want Sherlock. Weak old flowers wilted, loose change on the counter. One coin for each one of your eyes. My dear dead lover, I'm supposed to say I miss you, and I wish that I could kiss you, but that would be a lie. My dear dead lover, though the fun was undeniable, you weren't all that reliable, though frankly, nor was I. You had a sense of liberation. You explored uncharted oceans, but there's no reincarnation, and there's treason in emotions. And isn't that good reason not to cry? dear dead lover. Now you've gone beyond the curtain, and I'm feeling pretty certain you've made your final bow. And the sad thing is, I have never felt as close to you as I do now. Don't panic, it's just snot. Okay, so I have a confession to make, but I'm pretty sure there'll be a certain degree of like an audience polling this evening, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you will agree with me. I would like another lockdown, please. I fucking loved lockdown. For an introvert, it was everything that you want in life. I've got a little flat, I've got a PlayStation, I've got Netflix, I'm very good at masturbating. I had a fantastic time. The bit I didn't like was the lockdown limbo, because, during lockdown, obviously, we couldn't have cabarets. But then there was a kind of semi-limbo situation where we could have cabarets again, but there were all these rules and caveats. So the audience had to be socially distanced, and they had to wear, face coverings, and they weren't allowed to laugh, cheer, or sing along. You kind of wonder what the hell was the point. No, honestly, person at the front who I don't know at all. If you had said to me 3 years ago, before whatever it was, that I would find myself in a darkened room, surrounded by complete strangers wearing masks, I would call that a Thursday. Anyway, during lockdown, obviously everyone was scrabbling around to try and find other sources of income, and wanking on the internet only goes so far. So Michael and I set up a little kind of cottage industry. The word cottage is going to feature prominently in this evening's show. Little cottage industry where we do bespoke songs. So you would fill out a form online saying, who is it for, and what do they like, what's their star sign, what interests do they have, what style of music do they like, and so forth. And then we would write you a song and record it and send it to you. Now this next song was one of those commissions, and the commissioner is actually in the room, but I'm not going to point out who they are just yet. They may yet make themselves, revealed. So she sent all this information over about her husband, whose name is Murray. It's spelled M-O-R-A-Y, but it's pronounced Murray. He's a musician, by the way, that's relevant. Now, all this information is totally irrelevant to anyone who isn't either the commissioner or her husband. Okay? It makes absolutely no sense to anybody else. It's all one colossal in-joke. And yet, this is the most requested song that I perform. I do not know why. You can judge for yourselves. This is Monsieur Saucisson. Oh gosh, I love you, Murray. I've microwaved a curry, 'cause I'm in such a hurry to say I love you so. Together we make merry, as dinosaurs were scary. Had a call from Brian Ferry. What he wanted, I don't know. I love to watch you singing. Your trousers are so clinging. This curry's pretty minging. I'll pop it in the fridge. Your fingers have agility and lots of capability. This song is getting silly. Let's go to the bridge. Jiggly boobs, jiggly boobs, jiggly jiggly boobs. 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 Jiggly boobs, jiggly. I get a great humdrum as well. Sincere bit. And when the days grow dark and colder, and we grow old, I'll still be older. You are my first love, I'll give you lilies. Come to me, my Ray, and let's laugh at Willies, Willies, Willies. That's the badger. I'm sure, Charlotte, how capable of you, Charlotte. Celebrity gardener. And so everyone would like to show their appreciation for your breasts. Now, that was rather a saucy song. Oh, it was a saucy song. Boiling up here, so I'm just going to have to disrobe slowly. Also, the zips come undone the backside. Okay, it is getting a bit warm in here, isn't it? It's getting hot in here. I'll take off some of my clothes. We're going to sing you an even saucier song. But it's also an educational experience. Because we always like to inform, entertain, and educate, like the BBC. Now, this song is called MSM. Now, if you ask a millennial, not that you would, but if you ask a millennial, they will tell you that MSM stands for mainstream media, which it does. But it also stands for men who have sex with men, which describes a cohort of men who don't identify as gay or bisexual, but who nonetheless... I refer to them as Cleopatras, queens of denial. Now, this song is a bit of a quiz. So if in the course of this song, if you're a male-identifying person, you sort of tick the box of any of the things that I'm describing, then you might like to reconsider your, well, status. A couple of other things. There are a few references you probably won't guess. Cottaging is when a bunch of chums or pals rent a thatched building in Devon or Suffolk and go off for the weekend with a Labrador. What are you thinking, filthmonger? What else? Oh, sorry, I didn't mention. It's a sing-along. Yay! So let's just sort this out. So your name was Cliv, yes? Cliv. Okay, excellent. Okay, you're the captain of Team Dusty, Cliv. Okay, and you are all Team Michael. Don't get cocky, as it were. We have the easier job because we're on the downbeat, and then you're on the offbeat. I'm sorry, but Michael is actually reasonably good at music, apparently. So he'll lead you boldly in song. Have I forgotten anything?
The lyric.
Oh, the lyric! That would help, wouldn't it? The lyric is the word cock. If you're fond of surreptitious fondling, and for Willie you have quite a yen, or some frottage in a cottage where the light bulb is low wattage, you're a man who has sex with men. If you go to pray and end up kneeling, and you finish with a loud amen, though the sermon was appealing, it's the priest who was revealing you're a fella who has sex with men. Or are you a famous football player? Not a gayer, just a striker. Though the balls you're best at handling are mostly dangling from a biker or a hitchhiker. Do you go to Gibbers in Glasgow and you hope your girlfriend does sneak in? You may feel a twinge of guilt, but you like what's under the kilt. You're a bugger who has sex with men and sing cock, 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 cock. Now go the same. I'll go you cock, 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 cock. And do-si-do, strip the willow, change partners. Are you some kind of religious figure? Or a sultan in the Middle East? Next to godliness is cleanness, but you're partial to a penis, and you won't be starving at the feast. Are you someone who enjoys the man porn in a sauna full of steam, perhaps? If some poppers and cocaine will lead to just a spot of anal, you're a fella who has sex with chaps. And you're sure your wife has no idea? Do you fear the news would spite her? Or are you scared that if she found out, it really might excite her? You might invite her. There are those who will call you bisexual. You'll deny it with a manly roar. You may bellow like a bison, but you suck just like a Dyson. You're a classic little Kinsey for and sing. Cock, 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 cock. Come on, we can do so much better. Here we go. Cock, 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 cock.
And do-si-do, the Gay Gordons, and Promenade.
I remember you from Glastonbury. There's a reason that you're called Big Ben. For your groin was getting restive in the freedom of the festival and tempting time and time again. And you always say this is your first time. And you always claim you're strictly top. And you boast of cunnilingus while you take a pair of fingers. Please just stop pretending. Sexuality is one big rainbow. I meet fellas like you now and then, and I certainly don't judge you, and I really don't begrudge you, 'cause I'd just be getting 1 in 10 without men who have sex with men. Last chance. Cock, 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 cock. Embrace the cock. Cock, 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 faster and harder. Cock, 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 cock. Cock, 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 cock. I would graciously concede your side did better. Faster and harder. How vulgar. Lowering the tone. He's from Essex. Okay, so first and foremost, we have all gone through hell in the last few years. I think we can all agree on that. So I'm going to get vaguely serious. I'm not very good at it, but I'm going to try my very level best to do so. One thing that has been a constant is an amazing charity of which I am very... I enjoy this tremendous privilege of being, you know, white, cis and middle class, but also I enjoy the privilege of being one of the patrons of Cabaret versus Cancer. If you don't know their work, they raise funds through the medium of cabaret for cancer research, cancer treatment, and especially for palliative care and child bereavement. So on your way out, Rose Thorne, who is the head honcho, chief trustee, queen of all she surveys, very much like Galadriel in the Rings of Power, will be asking you for money. And we've got to deal with the venue, which is really generous of them, which is if you don't give her money, we're going to beat you. A thorough beating. She's got little card things. We're also selling CDs and posters. Actually, I think we've agreed, haven't we, that if you donate to Cabaret vs. Cancer, you will get one of the remaining 20 posters of me on the planet, since the FBI shredded all the other ones. Okay. So
do you want to set a minimum payment on that?
Oh, yes, we should. What's the minimum payment?
10.
10? It's lost half the crowd, though. They're all suffering as much as we are.
You know, they get to take you home.
I think in a situation like this, you just give what your soul and heart tell you
10.
you should give to avoid a proper meeting. Okay, here we are. We are all struggling, and in situations like this, when the world is just going chaotic and crazy, it's always useful to look around for someone to blame entirely. So during lockdown, I, all by myself, with no help from Michael, I actually wrote a song. I wrote the tune and everything. Now, it is musically very complicated and sophisticated. I wasn't sure he could actually deal with my chord structure. So I'll kick us off by playing my invisible ukulele. Because that's what Cabaret is crying out for, isn't it? More uka-fucking-lele's. Okay. Now, I should point something out. Content warning. Any offence this song causes is entirely deliberate. This is the Tory song. If you voted Tory, you're a moron or a twat. A moron or a twat. Oh, really fancy that. If you voted Tory, you're a moron or a twat. You're a moron or a twat. Or both. Or both. If you voted Tory. You're stupid or you're vile, and you're clearly in denial. If you voted Tory, you are stupid or you're vile. You are stupid or you're vile, or both. Or both. Well, I know that you don't want to hear this, and frankly, I'm live and let live. But telling the truth can be clear bliss, and here are all the fucks that I give. None! If you voted Tory, well, I'm sorry to be blunt, but you're a selfish...
Yeah, there's a line. We've got a polite crowd in. Yeah, they don't want to hear your filth, your lewdness.
Okay. In the interest of political balance, if you voted Labour, you might struggle keeping warm, but at least you're not reformed.
Yeah, all right, come on. It's a cabaret. Keep it light, keep it gay. Light and fun and breezy.
Can I get a glass of white wine so I can cope with this person? Okay, light and fun. This song ticks 2 of our 3 boxes. Remember them? Sex, death and money. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. This is a new song, which you won't have heard mostly. It's not on the albums. And I'm very proud of it. I think it's really uplifting. It's called My Suicide Note. My suicide note will consist of one word: money. My suicide note will be nothing if not funny. Not funny that gives you a laugh, but just think about my epitaph. Here lies a loser who died of despair, 'cause they didn't have a few sterling to share. At least the deceased had a full head of hair. And ain't that enough for you, honey? My suicide note will be ever so terse, just money. Put my corpse in a taxi, don't pay for a hearse. I'm a bunny, a rabbit in headlights, I think. A rabbit who's just too scared to blink. The flowers are rotten, the ones that aren't fake. Put them on the coffin for anyone's sake, and then have a whip round to pay for the way. I'm leaving on Wednesday. My suicide note will be written in ink, just money. On the back of an envelope next to the sink, still running. So pack all the boxes away, full of books that I swore I would read someday. Though wanting the money to keep on the heating, I still pursued pleasures both pointless and fleeting. Don't worry, love, soon my heart will stop beating. And thank God the weather's turned sunny. ballrooms. The city is wakeful, a pitiless clown, tenderly cutting you open. Doors without numbers that stare at the night. Welcome or warning, nobody can say. Hard neon lights that will never be day, as the stones crumble into the sea. And the man at the bar, he is full of surprise. The whiskey he's drinking has filled up his eyes, and the music's too loud, and his story's a lie. And this is what loneliness is. And the city in moonlight is aching and old, and the shadows fall hard, and the river is cold, and the souls of the people are bought and are sold. And this is the end of the world. This is the end of the world. Silhouette song available on our first album, good. I do feel like that jumped out of my silhouette solo. We need something to cheer us all up. Now, that song was inspired by my favourite city in the world, which is where my ancestors are from, which is the city of Edinburgh. Oh, thank you, my darling. That's good. Good timing. Sláinte. And Edinburgh is my favourite city in the world for several reasons. It's an incredibly beautiful city, and it's full of my favourite thing, which is graveyards. I love a good graveyard name. Not Brompton, very overrated on the cruising website, but never mind. Some of them laughed knowingly, Michael, I think. We found our audience. But I do love graveyards, I do love cemeteries, and I love Edinburgh especially because it's the ultimate graveyard. Because it's the Fringe Festival. It's the graveyard of hope. If you ever want to, £3,000 you want to lose, and you just don't have the self-discipline to build a serious cocaine problem, I would recommend putting on a one-person show at the Edinburgh Fringe. I haven't done the Edinburgh Fringe for the last couple of years for the very simple reason that I can entertain a very small audience of drunk people for, without leaving home. See, we've gone a little bit serious. We've gone a little bit serious and political. Now, we are admittedly living in difficult times, and there's a lot of talk about the problem being the ageing population and the pressure it puts on the National Health Service. Now, I went away, gathered my thoughts, and came up with what I think is a sensible policy for a happier Britain. I have located the source of the problem, and I intend to fix it. Okay, a few things I need to point out about this song. It's inspired by the wonderful and extremely well-hung Jarvis Cocker. There's a reason his surname is Cocker. He wrote a beautiful song some years ago called Help the Aged. Okay. Now, I should like to point out, this song is satire. And at this day and age, some people struggle with the concept of irony. So I need to point out in advance, this is satire. It is Swiftian satire, in the tradition of Swift, by which I mean Jonathan, not Taylor. You'd be surprised people struggle. I'm going to do it in the style of Nell Coward, because that way it can't possibly be offensive. Many centuries ago, a wise man known as Con confused us with Confucianism. He said, "I respect your elders, but I'm sorry, he was wrong. It's time to end the altruism. For thanks to modern medical techniques, we're burdened by these quaint living antiques. So, don't help the aged, speed them on their way. They've had their fun, they've had their fill, they've had their fucking day. And like a wrinkled belly when you've squeezed out all the juice. So don't help the aged, they serve no sodding use. Whining all the time how things were better in their day. And saying all those boring things that geriatrics say, like, it's too loud and you're so rude and I can't see to drive. Stop your sodding whining, love, be glad you're still alive." I'm not a whinger, but the baby boomer boom has used up all the real estate and left no sodding room to swing a cat or come to that to park a fucking broom. So don't help the aged, speed them to their doom. They bought their council houses and they've driven up the price. At this rate, I will never own a flat that's vaguely nice. And though it is a cliche, they do really smell of wee. Though on a drunken Friday, you might say the same of me. Every time I hear some poor old dear has had a fall, I just wonder why the silly sod was standing up at all. Selfish kids clinging on and cheating all their heirs. So don't help the aged, push them down the stairs. If you are aged and you have some cash to sport and you wonder should we help the kids or build that tennis court or buy a Persian carpet or head off to a resort, just remember it's your kids who get to cut your life support. The winter fuel allowance, well, it makes my blood fair boil. Subsidizing heating when we're running out of oil. They say that which does not kill you only makes you stronger. So let them freeze, who gives a toss? They cannot vote much longer. And speaking of other people who can't vote, don't help the homeless, let the fuckers starve. We've spent our precious working lives trying our best to carve a little nook just for ourselves. It's down in the Algarve. So don't help the homeless, they get what they deserve. And don't you help the sickly, my God, they make me squirm. Sucking on the NHS like parasitic worms. If they were meant to be alive, they wouldn't be half dead. So don't help the sickly, give me the cash instead. Cause in this big society, it's each man on his own. We don't need some adult codger or some old wizard crone. Old and wise they may be, but they're costing me and you. So don't help the aged, boil them down for glue. Don't help the feeble, let the weaklings fall. As we march on to a brighter tomorrow, young and strong and bold. March with our children, as Anne Bradford told. Marching on the corpses of the weak and sick and old. Hurrah! Hurrah! Don't help the aged, the country's nearly broke. We don't have to prop up all that venerable oak. No, cut down the dead wood and throw it on the fire. Don't help the aged, don't help the feeble, don't help the sickly, just let the cunts expire. It'll pay for a tax cut, hurrah! And I will never tire of saying this. That song killed Lord Geoffrey Howe. True story. Well, we're approaching the end. No. And also the end of the show. No. How are we doing for time?
9 minutes.
9 minutes? Oh, shit. Well, that gives you lots of time to donate to Cabaret vs. Cancer. And to to purchase the albums. It's it's £15 for one, £25 for two, or you get a download card, which means you just go online to technology, and then you can download it for £10. And all the money goes to my heroin addiction. So, should we just like pad with a little dance? Or we could just finish, early. Well, a few thank yous actually. That should take a long time. A few thank yous. Firstly, to the wonderful Phoenix Arts Club. Give them a round. I'm saying on the record, this is the best cabaret venue in London. They're incredibly supportive of artists in every way, shape, or form, and they have sensational, fantastic shows, much better than this one. To our wonderful technical crew, especially to Katie on Lights and Sound, who's just really great. The gorgeous bar staff, and to you for coming out on a Monday night at 6:30, and to the Chihuahua. Does it have a name?
Loki.
Loki, as in the god of mischief. And has he slept throughout the entire show?
No, he's struggling to sleep.
He's struggling. I am quite loud and high pitched. Who have I left out, Michael? I can't think of any. I don't know, it's just completely gone out of my head. Michael Roulston! We've been working together for 648 years. I mean, I tell you what, that Nell Gwynn, she was a goer. Well, as we approach the end, metaphorically and literally, I've been thinking a lot about life. I'm closer to the end than I am to the beginning. And I've had a few losses lately. I lost my grandfather recently. I've lost him before in Tesco's car park, but this time he died. And I mean, it's okay. He was very old. He was very frail, and he died doing the thing he loved most: heroin. Anyway. I've been thinking about all these things, and I've come up with a song. It's inspired by my absolute favourite place, apart from the Phoenix, obviously. My absolute favourite place in London, which it will not surprise you to hear, is a cemetery. Not Brompton, again, just... I'll explain that joke later on. Oh, we could just go there. This is a song called Heaven or Hell. In the sight of our dear Lord, as the ritual, the good Reverend intones, feeling very little, except rather cold and bored, in this place of beauty and bones. Yes, I'm drunk, but not drunk enough the sermon to believe. And typically, it's just started to rain. I'm pondering a mystery as I pretend to grieve. A simple question that's haunting my brain. Where do atheists go when they die? To heaven or hell? Or Highgate? Do they soar up to the angels on high? Or sink down into hell to be tortured and cry? And are there atheists hedging their bets on their fate once they've been clapped in hardboard? Do we fade out like dropped cigarettes? Or will I be full of surprising regrets? And will I have finally settled my debts? Or will I be buried in cardboard? And 3 grand and a plot. I can't lie here to rot when one day I meet my doom. Though it's still much cheaper than where I am living, and frankly, has twice as much room. That's London for you. And when my sun finally sets in the west, beyond heaven and hell and Highgate, there'll be no sin left to be confessed, and I won't be around to be lauded and blessed. I know when I go, I'll be glad of the rest. So my question to you is why wait? Screw heaven and hell, I'll take Highgate. Thank you for that delightful surprise. I want to get sincere for a second, which is a very uncomfortable situation for me. I'm going to make it very brief. For 900,000 years, we've been working together, writing these songs, which I love, and I love performing them so much. This man is a genius. Please give Michael Roulston a round of applause. And some of those songs, like Would You Been Linden, took literally years to really be happy with that song. This next song took 20 minutes. And it is my favourite song that we've recorded. Thank you so much for coming out. You've been absolute delight. We will be selling CDs, we're giving away posters, and Rose Thorne will be beating you around the head with a cudgel. Some of you are looking forward to that, I know. Thank you for the dress, my darling. Thank you. This is my favourite song that we've written. It's called Grin. A big black dog came around the other day, threatening to bite me, so I let him. Better that than trying to forget him. And so you get La Rage, and I must say, bon courage, be on your way. Life is sometimes cruel, but seldom dull. Try to grin and bear it like a skull. The sunshine on the meadow shows the way, but happiness is not the final answer. Bear in mind that sunshine gives you cancer, and when that scrawny bastard with the scythe comes round to claim you, you'll be blithe. He's hovered over me 1,000 times, I've seen his face in certain bridges, sleeping tablets, empty fridges. And when he finally comes, I'll cry hooray, the storm has passed. Here comes the long, indefinite Persephone will raise a glass to welcome me, and I'll go down to her smiling like a scar.